Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Welcome back to Bible Study with Tina. Right now, we are going to read the book of Numbers, chapters 19, 20, and 21. And this brings us to the 58th episode of Bible Study with Tina. Remember, my name is Tina Falade, and we're going to start reading the Bible right now. So let's begin. And it says, Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, This is the ordinance of the law, which the Lord has commanded, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, that they will bring you a red heifer without blemish, in which there is no defect, and on which a yoke has never come. You shall give it to Eleazar the priest, that he may take it outside the camp, and it shall be slaughtered before him. And Eleazar the priest shall take some of his blood with his finger, and sprinkle some of his blood 7 times directly in front of the tabernacle of meeting. Then the heifer shall be burned in his sight, his hide, its flesh, his blood, and his offal shall be burned. And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet, and cast them into the midst of the fire, burning the heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes, he shall bath in water, and afterward he shall come into the camp. The priest shall be unclean until evening. And the one who burns it shall wash his clothes in water, bath in water, and shall be unclean until evening. Then a man who is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and store them outside the camp in a clean place, and they shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for the water of purification. It is for purifying sin. And the one who gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. It shall be a statute forever to the children of Israel and to the stranger who dwells among them. He who touches the dead body of anyone shall be unclean 7 days. He shall purify himself with the water on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day, then he will be clean. But if he does not purify himself on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, he will not be clean. Whoever touches the body of anyone who has died and does not purify himself defiles the tabernacle of the Lord. That person shall be cut off from Israel. He shall be unclean because the water of purification was not sprinkled on him. His uncleanness is still on him. This is the law when a man dies in a tent. All who come into the tent and all who are in the tent shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel which has no cover fastened on it is unclean. Whoever in the open field touches one who is slain by a sword or who has died, or a bone of a person, or a grave shall be unclean 7 days. And for an unclean person, they shall take some of the ashes of the heifer, burnt for purification from sin, and running water shall be put on them in a vessel. A clean person shall take hyssop and dip it in the water, sprinkle it on the tent and on the vessels, on the person who were there, and on the one who touched a bowl of the slain, the dead, or a grave. The clean person shall sprinkle the unclean on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day, and on the 7th day he shall purify himself, wash his clothes, and bath in water, and at the evening he shall be clean. But the man who is unclean and does not purify himself, that person shall be cut off from among the assembly, because he has defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water of purification has not been sprinkled on him. He is unclean. It shall be a perpetual status for them. He who sprinkles the water of purification shall wash his clothes, and he who touches the water of purification shall be unclean until evening. Whatever the unclean person touches shall be unclean, and the person who touches it shall be unclean until evening. Then the children of Israel, the whole congregation who came into the wilderness of Zin in the first month, and the people stayed in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there. Now there was no water for the congregation. So the people gathered together against Moses and Aaron, and the people contended with Moses and spoke, "If only we had died when our brethren died before the Lord. Why have you brought us, why have you brought up the assembly of the Lord into the wilderness, that we and our animals should die here? And why have you made us come up out of Egypt and to bring us to this evil place? It is not a place of grain and fig and vines or pomegranate, nor is there any water to drink." So Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and they fell on their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the rod, you and your brother Aaron, gather the congregation together. Speak to the rock before the people, and it will yield its water. Thus you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their animals." So Moses took the rod from before the Lord as he had commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly together before the rock, and he said to them, "Hear now, you rebels, must we bring water for you out of the rock?" Then Moses lifted his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod, and water came out abundantly, and the congregation and their people drank. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, "Because you did not believe me to hallow me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given you." This was the water of Meribah, because the children of Israel contended with the Lord, and he was hallowed among them. Now Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. "Thus says your brother Israel, you know all the hardship that has befallen us, how our fathers went down to Egypt, and we dwelt in Egypt in a long time, and the Egyptians afflicted us and our fathers. When we cried out to the Lord, he heard our voice and sent the angel and brought us up out of Egypt. Now here we are in Kadesh, a city on the edge of your border. Please let us pass through your country. We will not pass through fields or vineyards, nor will we drink water from wells. We will go along the king's way. We will not turn aside to the right or to the left until we have passed through your territory." Then Edom said to him, "You shall not pass through my land, lest I come out against you with a sword." So the children of Israel told him, "We will go by the highway, and if I or my livestock drink any of your water, then I will pay for it. Let me only pass through on foot, nothing more." Then he said, "You shall not pass through." So Edom came out against them with many men and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his territory, so Israel turned away from him. Now the children of Israel, the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came to Mount Hor. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor by the border of the land of Edom, saying, "Aaron shall be gathered to his people, for he shall not enter the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son and bring them up to the Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garment and put them on Eleazar his son. For Aaron shall be gathered to his people and die there." So Moses did just as the Lord commanded, and they went up to Mount Hor, in the sight of all the congregation. Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them on Eleazar his son, and Aaron died there on the top of the mountain. Then Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. Now when the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, all the house of Israel mourned for Aaron 30 days. This brings us to the end of chapter 20. Now we're going to start 21, which says, "The king of Arad, the Canaanites who dwell in the south, heard that Israel was coming on the road to Atharim. Then he fought against Israel and took some of them prisoners. So Israel made a vow to the Lord and said, 'If you will indeed deliver these people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. And the Lord listened to the voice of Israel and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities. So the name of that place was called Hormah. Then they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to go around the land of Edom. And the soul of the people became very discouraged on the way. And the people spoke against God and against Moses. Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and our soul loves this holeless bread. So the Lord sent fiery serpents amongst the people, and they beat the people, and many of the people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord that he takes away the serpent from us. So Moses prayed for the people. Then the Lord said to Moses, Make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole. And it shall be that everyone who is bitten, when he looks at it, he shall live. So Moses made a bronze serpent and put it on a pole. So it was, if a serpent had bitten anyone, when he looked at the bronze serpent, he lived. Now the children of Israel moved on and camped in Oboth. And they journeyed from Oboth and camped in Abarim, and in the wilderness which is east of Moab, towards the sunrise. From there they moved and camped in the valley of Zered. From there they moved and camped on the other side of Arnon, which is in the wilderness that extends from the border of the Amorites. For the Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Therefore, it is called in the books of the war. It is said in the book of the wars of the Lord, Wahib in Suphah, the brooks of Arnon, and the slope of the brooks that reaches to the dwelling of Ar, and lies on the border of Moab. From there, they went to Beer, which is the well where the Lord said to Moses, Gather the people together, and I'll give them water. Then Israel sang the song, Spring up, O well, all of you sing to it. The well the leaders sank, dug by the nation's noble, by the lawgiver with their staves. And from the wilderness they went to Matana, from Matana to Nahali, from Nahaliel to Bamoth, from Bamoth in the valley that is in the country of Moab, to the top of Pisgah, which looks down on the wasteland. Then Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of Amorites, saying, Let me pass through your land. We will not turn aside into fields or vineyard. We will not drink water from wells. We will go by the king's highway until we are passed through your territory. But Sihon would not allow Israel to pass through his territory. So Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel in the wilderness and came to Jahaz and fought against Israel. Then Israel defeated him with the edge of the sword and took possession of his land from the Arnon his land to Jabbok, as far as the people of Ammon. For the border of the people of Ammon was fortified. So Israel took all the cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all its villages. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, king of Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and had taken all his land from his hand as far as the Arnon. Therefore, those who speak in Proverbs says, Come to Heshbon, let it be built. Let the city of Sihon be repaired. For fire went out from Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It consumed Ar of Moab, the lords of the heights of the Arnon. Woe to you, Moab, you have perished. O people of Chemosh, he has given his sons as fugitives, and his daughters into captivity, to Sihon, king of the Amorites. But we have shot at them. Heshbon has perished as far as Dibon. Then we laid waste as far as Nophah, which reaches Meribah. Thus Israel dwelt in the land of the Amorites. Then Moses sent to spy out Jazer, and they took his villages and drove out the Amorites who were there. And they turned and went by the way to Bashan. So Og, king of Bashan, went out against them, and he and all his people to battle at Edrei. Then the Lord said to Moses, do not fear him, for I have delivered him into your hand, with all his people and his land, and you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon. So they defeated him, his sons, and all his people, until there was no survivor left him, and they took possession of the land. And this brings us to the end of chapter 21. We just finished reading the book of Numbers, chapters 19, 20, and 21. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. I look forward to studying with you tomorrow as well. And if you like this video, please just click like. And if you want to share your opinion about the word or the insights you gained from this study, please comment below. We shall engage with you. And please do not forget to share this video with your friends and loved ones. I wish you a wonderful and blessed day. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.